And we are live on the next, latest, all-new, jam-packed, sensational edition of 4th and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to 4th and 4. I am your host, Zach Kyleman, here, as always, on the fourth ever show for your NFL pregame content, thanks to Unhinged Radio and Belly Up Sports Network. Joining me, as always, in here for these shows, I got to welcome in my good buddies as well as our co-hosts here. We got Kelsey Coyne and we got DJ Stewart this week joining us for this edition of 4th and 4. James Meunier will not be able to join us, unfortunately, but we will hope to him to be back next week. Guys, welcome aboard. I will now give you all, of course, a little more room in this in here, of course. Whoa. How are we doing? Look at me. I'm being all fancy with the movements.
There's a whole lot of my face, though. I don't know if we just broke the cameras. Sorry if you're watching this on YouTube or anything, or if you're catching this on Colorcast. You didn't see my big old face, but yeah, no, it's great to be back.
A face for radio and a voice for TV.
Hey, man, built for radio. Body built by radio.
Give that ugly mug a little bit of spotlight here. You know,
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I will. You gotta do it. Just give you the solo. It's all about you right now.
It's too much. It's too much, guys. I know I had the best week last week, but there's no need for this. This is
okay.
This is too much.
We'll give you more time with that and a little more time to recuperate from seeing yourself like this. So let's just dive into this and kick things off. And for those that haven't tuned in before, we do this in quarters. It's think of it as a game on a live stream where we have each our 15-minute segments, roughly give or take, and we're going to kick things off with talking just some latest news pieces. I don't know if I want to start off with this right away because of how recent it is. I mean, we could talk, of course, some stuff from week 3.
Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. There's no need to dance around this, if you will. Let's just go dive right in. It's how we got in this situation in the first place.
All right, DJ. Tell you what, you kind of want to rip the Band-Aid off, so I'm going to let you get the floor. Tell us what's all going on as of last night. Who is partying it up? Somebody's having a damn good time out in Columbus, Ohio. Am I right?
Well, Urban Meyer's in the hot seat again, but it's not really just due to his coaching this time. There's video of him surfaced of him with a younger lady, seemed to be dancing, seemed to be having a little bit of fun at a club, which everyone can do. That is their own thing. But he is married, and it is another interesting thing in the Urban Meyer's repertoire of long lists that he's been through. So just video surfaced, and he's been a little bit under fire on Twitter, which obviously doesn't mean a whole lot. It's still up to Shad Khan and the Jaguars organization what they're going to do with that. But yeah, this feels kind of awkward, especially considering, he's married and everything and has kids. So kind of odd to see him acting like one of his former Ohio State players out there as well, too. So not a good look unless he's purposely trying to get himself suspended to get out of having to coach because the NFL is hard. I don't know, but it's not a great look if you're Urban Meyer, now 0-4 to start your career as well.
Unreal.
This was fantastic. I mean, can we talk about a better thing to happen after Joe Burrow beats you again? And this is just on top of the cherry on top of it all. Like, I already didn't think Urban Meyer was going to be a good coach in the NFL. Joe Burrow fully improved that because despite Trevor Lawrence's first half, what happened to Jacksonville in the second half? I don't know. I think they went missing at that same bar that Urban was dancing at. But this was fantastic. I can't believe that this is the thing that comes out. And by the way, it's at his bar that this happened. And
okay.
I feel like there's a part of this that has to be said, like, it's at your bar. How do you not have rules about don't take photos of Urban Meyer in the bar? Like, how do you not have that built into your rule set at the bar? Like, and you're wearing an Ohio State jacket during all of this. Like, is this what you meant when you said you wanted to spend more time with your family?
No, I don't think so.
No,
is this the heart
he's about to
issues
get
he
a
was
5-year
having?
extension.
Like, to be fair, I get the heart palpitations if that's the person that's going to be dancing on him. I get it. I understand. But that's this was it's so bad. It's funny at this point in time, really.
We're already not even 4 weeks in and we're already having fiasco type of madness that I'm used to with Urban Meyer at some point in any of his coaching stops, at least. Maybe not Utah, but really
No, there was the whole one at Utah. Like, hey, I'm going to change the helmets to match the jerseys. Makes the helmets a giant metallic dark maroon red. The jerseys are bright red, normal, like the color on the background of DJ's, whatever that is right there. Yeah, that color was the color of the jerseys. The color of the helmet was actually closer to the color of the Grizz face mask behind DJ. Like this is like how is that making them match Urban Meyer? What are you doing? And it was a big uproar, by the way, in Utah because you have BYU all one color blue.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted Utah to be all one color red,
Mm-hmm.
and they could not have that consistency.
Well, okay. I mean, it does continue what it was, at least in Florida and Ohio State. I do have something here, because this came up pretty recent, and I have to thank the folks at Corked Bats that made this graphic. If I can get it to show up correctly, as I'm going to get it here. Let's see. Here we go. I think maybe you guys have seen this. We'll see it here. So it's going to share if we do it this way, if I am correct. Oh. J-Dash already commenting. Urban Meyer took Jameis Winston's quote, "Grab her by blank," to the extreme. Not a fan.
Ooh, I forgot about that. I didn't forget, but I had plunged that into the memory banks of I'm not going to talk about that, chat.
Well, here's what I'm talking about. This is the Urban Meyer cycle, thanks to the Cork Bats crew. I'm assuming this is a podcast or a media type of group. It was on Twitter here, but you can see, this was early on. And there's one that's an edit. Remove the instant success. They're already at the report scandal stage. So we are going to be coming up on, obviously, the next few pieces of this cycle very soon.
Rumored for open coach job to to just after reports or scandal arises as well.
Sure.
Because I feel like he's been rumored for USC here, and yeah.
Let me just go ahead and prepare his press release right now. So I've decided to step back from coaching the Jaguars after our 0-7 start to spend more time with my family and work on my personal self. Some quote unquote will step in and fill in. We thank Urban Meyer for the job he has done. We wish him the best of luck. Signed,
it's almost like you've been on his side this entire time. Like you know what's about to happen.
I'm not going to say I'm Nostradamus. I'm just going to say the obvious has been laid out since the day they said we would like to announce Urban Meyer as head coach.
Boy.
You just flip the press release upside down, and that's basically what we saw was coming.
And
fair.
And J-Dash, even though he's not on the show, is still giving us gems like this.
The rumor now is Dan Mullen from Florida could be next.
Look, let's not give a rumor for who's going to be in the next hot seat for Jacksonville, because right now they have bigger holes to fill than Urban Meyer's decrepancy.
Than the holes Urban Meyer's trying to fill.
I dared even bring this question up, but what does it take? I mean, we're already talking one season, and the instant connection here goes to everyone goes back to Nick Saban. So where are we at on this is going to be like, I feel like we're already at worse than Nick Saban levels of like bailing out of the NFL because I couldn't handle it because it's Alabama every week. Look, I can't.
Nick Saban just dipped out in the midnight oil. Like, this is Urban Meyer's going out in a blazing flame of glory at this point in time. This is like Lane Kiffin burning beds situation out of Tennessee.
Wait, what if this becomes a Rick Pitino leaves a note in the locker and says, "Bye, guys. I just couldn't deal. It's time to go."
This is like a Buffalo player that just retired at halftime.
Vontae Davis. Nope. Hi, guys.
This is just like, guys, I'm done. Bye. Like, deuces. This is what I'm expecting coming up next.
Honestly, at this point, knowing the Jaguars, Shad Khan, the owner, is about to give him an extension. Like, we need someone that has guts and doesn't fear being out there. Here's a 6-year extension. You're here for life.
And Jacksonville fans all over the place instantly cringed from the knowledge that that's true.
But my health. Don't worry, we have a good healthcare plan.
Dude, it's Jacksonville. There's nothing you
Your
can do.
Your life insurance is top notch. You'll be fine.
Chill. You can retire really soon. Like, you're already in the state. Like, just ride it out. You have all the babes.
Pause the presses, ladies and gentlemen.
I have to say that you were right about him. Whoa.
Well, to be fair, Kelsey just kind of took general consensus. J-Dash just didn't want to hear the obvious.
I mean, let's realize, remember, folks, like Jim is
This has become 3. There's now 3 and 2. It's been updated to 3 and 2. I'm taking it as a win.
Tell you what, do you want your spotlight to write the 3 in?
No, God.
Oh, come on. You got the marker right there.
You know how long it took me to do that? Way longer than I should for
Kelsey's
something that's
island.
in the background.
You weren't the only one on the island with Urban Meyer.
Wait a minute. You're going to – the 3's going to take longer?
Oh, dude. Just to put a 2 on the board took me way longer than I'm proud of. I got to be honest.
Fair enough. Okay, I understand. That's fine. That's fine. This situation is like, it's such a circus, and I'm having too much fun with it as long as no one gets hurt from this. Really,
You know what this is like? This is like when Josh Gordon gets suspended and reinstated. It's almost like that to the point where it's comedy at this point. It's not even like, oh no, it's not. It's like, are you screwing with me? Like, am I being punked right now again?
Can we talk about
clockwork?
Can we talk about this? Like, why is this man back? Well, what is the NFL doing?
It is cleaning itself of all its dirty underwear, if you will. At this point, honestly, I don't know. Josh Gordon is. I feel like this is where we need the Manscaped ad. Like
that would have been a nice
keep
ad.
yourself
Right?
nice and fresh, and just NFL's picture with Josh Gordon and Urban Meyer being trimmed off.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
There you go, guys. Manscaped,
like,
get at us.
But like,
Give us a call.
Why does this man get another chance? And I you know what? I want to stay and give people a second here. I know some people's stances on, like, for example, some of the things that he's been known for with all the jokes about him smoking the dope and all that. I get it. But look,
can you say that any word, like any more old man style, smoking the dope?
Dude, I'm a 20-something-year-old guy that like acts like a 40-year-old. Like I'm already, it's already too late for me. You know, we're embracing it. I mean, look, I'm on this damn show with a collared shirt. I barely look the part of my age. So I'm
making me feel bad about not wearing a collared shirt.
No, that's not what I meant to do. It was supposed to be more depressing for me, not for you.
Good job.
Thanks. Well,
back. DJ needs to get a blanket, I guess, for the rest of the show. Just wrap up in a blanket.
Just gonna dip down here so you don't have to see the rest.
Showing too much collarbone in there, DJ. I guess I don't know.
Look,
Urban Meyer's not the one with scandals around here, I guess.
All I want to finish up with is like, how many times can you go into the rehabilitation like cycle and like the NFL's just not going to ban you for life at this point? Get off my lawn, guys. Okay, palms. Thanks. I'm so glad I'm the dad figure in here already. Old man yells at cloud moment as well.
Well, so far the most active moment we've had in our few episodes has been this, and this is what we live for is the rest of this comment. I mean, congratulations, Zach. Your old man moment has succeeded the rest of
it's going to be
content that we can provide.
It's going to be old man yells at a skyscraper in New York with the NFL logo on it.
Yes, please.
That's what it'll be.
I mean, it could just be Pittsburgh and you yell at Heinz Field.
Well, that's coming up soon. So
yeah, we haven't dropped that bomb yet, but we'll leave that one for later.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up. I already have said too much. I gotta be quiet about that.
No, we got to let people know eventually. We'll let them know this week.
I know. We'll it's coming.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, folks.
Spoiler alert. There's a spoiler alert coming midweek.
Any other tidbits that you guys want to bring up here before we I don't even want prematurely end this quarter. We want to make sure we're getting every bit of juicy goodness stuffed in here. Make that graphic. Yeah,
I think we have enough. I think we can end this quarter prematurely, and we have enough juiciness and all the Urban Meyer jokes you could think of. I think we've covered just about all of it, and I think you even added a few more unintentionally. I think we got it today. I think it's locked in so far.
My phrasing once again has added too much.
The only quick question is: do you guys think Urban Meyer? How long do you think Urban Meyer's still coaching? Do you think he's probably going to be there next week? Do you guys think he's there after that?
I'm going full blown. He pulls a Rick Pitino. He's out mid-season. He's going to drop a letter in that locker room. He's going to not say a damn word, and he will go on his merry way back to Columbus, Ohio to get as much twerking action as possible.
Week 8 or 9 is when he decides to dip, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're giving him more time. I think
he's going to need a win. He's going to need a win like really soon, I think, if you're going to see a whole season to stick it out.
I think if they go 0-5, he's gone.
I think we have Jim's answer.
I mean, he can just claim health reasons. Like that's what's going to happen. It's such a cliche answer for him anymore. And yeah, I see what Jim's saying.
But yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Week 8, week 9. I don't think he makes the trade deadline. Like I think he's gonna be like, we need these players, and Shad Khan's gonna be like, how are you gonna get them We don't have any assets.
The dude looks so devastated. Like, you see the photos every week where it's like in his office where he's like, "Oh God, woe is me. I can't just cherry pick, recruits from across the country like I used to. I can't just be at the top programs that easily get these recruits because of name. I'm at Jacksonville, a city that is in hell in recent years, and I had to say I'm going to rebuild it."
I have 1 to 2 first-round picks a year, not 18 to 40, depending on how many extra scholarships I have. Oh, well.
Oh God.
Or Mara will
This
eat
one.
some Pizza Hut and go on to USC.
Lane Kiffin-esque, I see. I like it.
Thanks,
And
Coach.
we do actually have a comment on Colorcast about this, saying I think he's gone. Jaguars lose to the Titans. If he holds on, he can beat the Dolphins for Mr. Folgers as well too. So I feel like the unanimous is Urban Meyer is not going to finish out 2021 season.
I think so.
Yeah, no, it's rough.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
He's just mad. He's just mad he has to pay these guys. He still hasn't gotten over that. I feel like wait. You mean I gotta let these guys live a normal living life? I can't just tell them what to do and then they go on their mighty way. Like, that's not how this works. Oh, forget it.
Well, I mean, losing to the guy that you recruited and then had to transfer away, that probably doesn't feel too good either.
I mean, that's the case. Urban's got a whole lot of guys he's lost to in already in his NFL career that have transferred away from programs he coached.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we could do an entire episode on this if we wanted to keep going as well too. Like, this has a very, very, very long veil to climb up as well. But we might want to move forward before we get ourselves in trouble now.
Yeah, time to stop beating that dead horse. Knowing Meyer, you could probably come find us more than I can find him.
I welcome to see Coach Urban Meyer.
You welcome to see him?
I welcome, because I'm going to ask him where his bar is, because can I get free access and free drinks?
I'm going to ask my buddy who lives in Columbus and figure that out. Maybe we got to go take a visit and be like, "Look, man, this is where it all happened."
Look, I'll even implement the rules for his bar. Like, you can't have cameras. Like, that's all that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh God. All right. Yeah, we need to move on because this comment says it all.
Yes, it does. Coach Steve coming in clutch with these quotes.
I can't. Nobody can top that. That one's it. We were moving on.
Moving on. Take me away. I need
so
to
quarter
stop.
two, right, Zach? Quarter two.
Yes, it is quarter two. I was getting there. I am off this train. Okay, it's quarter two. Let's dive into some fantasy football and get away from what appears to be a fantasy with Urban Meyer even being in the NFL. So I'm just saying it's still weird. Fantasy football, second quarter, folks. Starting things off, going to give you your start sits, maybe some other options you want to look out for here, kicking things underway. Kelsey DJ, go right ahead. I need a moment to recuperate, or he will be get out of here, Steve.
We're done with that you and fantasy football guys to look out for.
Anyway,
guys,
sorry, I know better than anything I could have done with Jay Cutler. That is absolutely perfect.
I know. So he's doing this because of the fact that we share misery and that we just love the misery of it. But like, hold the phone, God damn it! Don't you dare bring that up.
Language, Zach. There are children watching, and at the very least, unborn children from Urban Meyer watching. So, anyways, we're Kelsey, going to get to fantasy football. And before I do that, though, Jay Cutler will be pleased. Yes, he will. Jay Cutler will be pleased. All right, right, my solo hit. That is absolutely perfect. But no, look, fantasy football. I got to start and sit, and I'm really bullish on the Lions this week, and that does mean Quintez Cephas will be going off, and he is owned, I believe, in only about 30% of ESPN leagues, and he's a big boomer bust type of receiver. I mean, his top side, he could be a wide receiver 1, like around a 15, 16. Downside, yeah, he's a wide receiver 3 because, well, that's just the Lions for you. But you also expect to see a lot of DeAndre Swift in this game for the Lions. So DeAndre Swift, Quintez Cephas, those are 2 guys I'm looking at right now for a game against the Bears that, well, it's the Bears. We don't know what will happen. We talk about how bad their secondary can be, not to continue the whole hating on the Bears segment we just went on. But, yeah, here we are. But, yeah, like, that's who I have this week is Quintez Cephas, and DeAndre Swift as potential starts for your fantasy team. Oh, Zach's muted.
There we go. I'm not an idiot. In a game where people are talking about who being fired. So I got to deal with that. But maybe that's the key. I get that. I get those. I like Quintez. I actually like Quintez Cephas a lot. Talk about someone that's come out of nowhere and has become, I think, probably the most trusted option for Jared Goff already.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We always have one every year. Like, I still remember when Alan Hearns came out of nowhere as an undrafted pick. And same thing like James Robinson last year. Weird. I'm talking about Jags players, but I'm just saying.
Only they'd hand the ball off to James Robinson 25 times a game. They might win a game.
I know. I have them on 2 teams, and they decided that Carlos Hyde deserves just as many picks, or just as many handoffs. I'm an idiot, but yeah.
I thought you just said you weren't, Zach. Well, just keep the trend here, guy.
I'm inconsistent. just like my fantasy teams.
Inconsistently consistent. I like.
I'm acting like my fantasy teams. They're all all over the place every week. I'm in 8 leagues. Like I'm not going to get all winners.
That just sounds painful. That just sounds absolutely right. It's like, oh, I got to fix my fantasy team. You have to go through all of them to figure out which one it is you need to fix.
Oh, trust me. When Rob Gronkowski went down this week, I was like, okay, which 2 do I have him in? Or with Julio Jones, same thing. Okay, which 3 do I have him in? I got to go through all 8 and kind of quickly swap them. Or I got to do free agent pickups. By the way, Hunter Renfrow probably will save my ass today. I'm actually banking on him to be the key for filling in Julio Jones.
He's at double-digit points every week. He's been sitting with me as well, too. I'm like, I want to play him, but I'm scared to play him. I just play him every week.
I'm going to solo myself here and be like, how have you left? If you're a fantasy manager, how have you left Hunter Renfrow on the sideline? He was so easy to pick up in free agent markets this week, and I picked him up in 3 of them. I have 8 leagues, and I picked him up in 3. How is he there? Double-digit receivers, you should be spamming that add button and dropping anybody. If it's
I have a formal answer.
Yeah,
he's in 4th and 4 with us right now.
I'm busy.
Okay, but
that's why.
I'm also wondering why he's not at the game and getting ready.
Look, I get ready how I need to get ready. You get ready how you need to get ready. I'll be there and I'll get your double-digit fantasy points. Just you wait. I can play Monday. Asante Samuel doesn't want this. I will be open as long as Derek Carr finds me.
Yeah, he's got a whole day to get to what, Las Vegas. He'll be fine.
It's cool.
That's cool.
I got this.
Oh no, wait, no, it's in SoFi. So yeah, it's in LA. You're good. Catch a flight. You'll be fine.
He's probably got a flight. Maybe it'll be fine.
He's got a flight. He'll be fine. Quick drive, 3-hour drive up the up one of the Western highways. He'll be there. But I'm just saying, if Hunter Renfrow was so easy for me to pick up, and he's been hitting double digits every week, he's a consistent floor, maybe even better ceiling if someone does go down. So why the hell are you picking him up? That's one of my ads. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care at this point. If you aren't adding him and you aren't realizing that the Raiders offense with Derek Carr is just at a whole new level this year, and that 300 yards consistently per game is a thing. Yeah, you're going to, and it's a diverse offense with more targets than Darren Waller now. By the way, Edwards, who saw that one coming as well, because I did not, but talk about somebody that's getting some good targets. I knew Renfrow. I knew Waller. Edwards? No, didn't see that one either. Zay Jones? I'm not banking on Zay Jones, by the way. Don't pick up Zay Jones. But Hunter Renfrow, I'm saying go get Hunter Renfrow. That's somebody I like. I like him a lot. I got him in 2 of them. And I think that against the Chargers, you're going to want somebody that can help diversify that. As in terms of other starts and sit options, I do agree with Kelsey. Look at the Chicago game or Chicago and Detroit, because a bit of a mismatch, I would say. I think that you're going to see a chance for the Lions to get some good ground game, and also as long as you're throwing away from Jalen Johnson, which Chicago's secondary besides Jalen Johnson is very suspect. I'm not even gonna. I don't even respect Eddie Jackson anymore because he is not worth that contract. So you can go and I think get somebody say Swift out of the backfield catching some passes. TJ Hawkinson I think will get some good catches today too. is someone else I would be looking out for. Otherwise, games I'm looking out for as well. Kansas City, talk about a team needs to get off the mat and it's going to be angry. If you have anyone that's on the Chiefs, watch out. I mean, Cowboys just dropped 41 on the Eagles last week. I think that's pretty manageable for KC this week too. So yeah, I'd say anyone from that, even maybe I'll even throw Indy and Miami. I think there's some possibilities. Jacoby Brissett looked a lot better than I thought last week against the Raiders, and I think it only gets better with weeks that you get. Although it's Tua in, so I take that back. I thought that was just announced this morning.
No, he's out till like October 17th is what it was too. He's on IR, so he's out at least a couple more weeks.
That's what I originally saw. I thought that I saw Schefter say something today. Could be wrong.
Nah, he's ready to be returned October 17th. Yep.
Okay, that was what it was. But continue my conversation. Stick with. I think Brissett's showed that he can still deliver what he needs. I mean, credit Will Fuller took some to catches away from Devontae Parker, but
Will Fuller also cost them that game.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Hands, but not in the right way.
I'm kind of happy you picked that game because a few of the fantasy guys I have were coming from there as well too. And speaking of which, from that Colts game, look for Nyheim Hines at running back as well too, just because Jonathan Taylor is banged up, so he's probably going to get a little bit more burn. Marlon Mack is not going to be playing because they're looking to trade him. Nyheim Hines, the guy who catches the ball in the backfield, very Austin Eckler. Like, look for him in a PPR league especially, maybe to get you at 10 points, even in limited roles as well too. Robbie Anderson for the Panthers, probably going to be going up with Trayvon Diggs, who was defensive player of the month in the NFC, but his tendency to give up the deep ball, and very few guys go deep like Robbie Anderson. And Robbie Anderson has been quiet the last couple weeks, so look for him and Darnold to try and connect there as well. Some guys, and a guy to pick up off the waiver wire, if you're like me and you had DJ Shark, who fractured his ankle and is out for the season, look for Hollywood Higgins on the Browns as well too. Rashard Higgins with Odell coming back, maybe Odell takes some of the pressure off them, which means that will leave him wide open. No Jarvis, so Baker's going to have to go to options 2 and 3 more often. There's some guys to look for there as well too. And some guys to sit. Looking at Juju Smith-Schuster, go ahead and sit him if he is playing this week as well. No Chase Claypool. That offense has been absolutely just don't take any. Just bench the whole Steelers, honestly. Maybe keep Najee Harris, but just bench the entire Steelers offense. And then New England's tight ends. I know it's the big Brady homecoming, and it'd be fitting for Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith to go off, but with Levante David and Devin White rolling into town, I have a feeling the entire game plan is like, take those guys away, make Mac Jones throw it down the field. So sit both of the New England tight ends, sit Juju, Robbie Anderson, Nyheim Hines, Hollywood Higgins, some guys that I think could maybe be a steal as well too, or even Alan Lazard for the Packers because Marquez Valdes-Scantling's out for a little while. Devontae Adams going to see a little bit of double team. Maybe Alan Lazard fills some of that void. So some definitely good options out there fantasy-wise.
Oh, yeah. I actually really like Alan Lazard, at least as a player. I know he's not always consistent fantasy, but, comes in hard. I would say really solid blocking receiver, which you don't always hear.
Body
and
guy too. Aaron just throw it up there.
A good utility guy. He does what he needs to and gets his job done on most plays. I think that's something that I think so. He's proven his worth.
Game when he needs to catch the ball.
Okay, it doesn't. Not every play.
I'm just saying he didn't do his job in the most important play that he could possibly have in his career.
Yeah. You all right? I'm just saying.
Can you be successful if you don't do it in the most important time of your career?
It's fair. He's got time.
There's a reason Aaron Rodgers is
Darrell Henderson owners. Looks like he's going to be coming back this week for the Rams as well, too, against Arizona's defense, who you have to imagine is going to be keying in and like, all right, everybody stop all the bombs to Deshaun Jackson, Cooper Kupp. Probably light man box for Arizona's front seven besides Chandler Jones. You can run on it. I mean, they haven't been exactly the most stout. They had a good week one against Derrick Henry, but I think they're going to be playing heavy pass defense too. So maybe see if Darrell Henderson, Sony Michel, any of those guys can get going a little bit, or even on the dump off routes as well.
I'll say, and that definitely means Sony Michel owners. Sorry, but you're going to continue to be disappointed by Sony Michel.
My heart.
You say that as a Sony Michel owner.
I 1,000% say that as a Sony Michel owner who has not seen anything but the bench so far.
That one hurt me. That one hurt me right here. I got him as a handcuff, but my days of possibly seeing better numbers are now done.
Okay, but before we go to halftime, I have to just look at this. Can we talk about this?
I mean, we can talk about it again. I don't think I didn't see the flash frame come up.
That's a handsome man right there. That's doing pretty good. And then Where's that gold helmet at, man?
I didn't get to keep the gold helmet. That was just for show. I don't think you understand how little we get paid. Unless
Where's
you're
the
Deshaun
hair?
Watson, you're not getting paid.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough.
Like I'm just Hunter. Like they don't pay me. Like that was a 5th round pick. What do you expect?
I mean, look, I had to ask. Like, I just thought it was a sick helmet. Like,
Keep getting the solid numbers.
This is what I actually got as a helmet. This is the one they gave us compared to the one you just saw there. Like this is what we actually walked away with.
Looks like it came out of like Madden from like 1995. All the like blocky. It's like a blocky shape. It's not even like rounded. What kind of helmet is that?
It's a foldable helmet. You put it together in the back. It's been through some stuff. It's moved like 9 to 10 hours as well too. It's been stuffed in a car. It's seen better days. Like it's been a long time since I was at Clemson, Zach. You don't have to keep rubbing it in. Like
that's the thing. I missed out on the
NIL deals.
Why is it the Grizz though? You got Montana.
I transferred.
Well.
Yeah, Zach. Don't we have halftime to go into? Always trying to bring up my glory days and not make me relive them and realize this is where I fall into.
I'm getting my hits in before I get slaughtered talking about pick'ems because last week was so bad.
No, we're not going to slaughter you.
You already slaughtered yourself with those.
Here's my Jay Cutler.
I heard you. I could say some choice words right now, but I'm not going to do it.
Emphasis on the Cutler.
I'm a better man than that.
Hang on, let me go get my forks and knives out for you.
We're just going to go to halftime. I'm not waiting around for this misery. All right, folks. We're happy to have halftime back once again. It'll be the we're gonna have the Hector Flores halftime show coming right your way, starting right now. There we go. Thank you, Mouse. We're kicking things off. We'll give you some entertainment and get some Hector's picks for this week.
You know, for years we have spoken on the triumphs of many athletic feats, but none have been covered like this young man in this photo. This young man, his name is Hector Flores. He is currently on a 3-week hot streak of having more than 10 correct picks in his pick'em for the 4th and 4 show on Unhinged Sports Radio, powered by Belly Up. Now, you see, obviously, we're talking about the sports network and sports podcasting. So obviously, you would imagine that this young lad knows a little thing about American football, probably even hosts a show about American football. But what if we told you that this young man, who seems like he cannot kick a soccer ball to save his life, I mean, this is the only image that we have of him, but this young man hosts Insert Name FC. That is correct. A soccer or football podcast if you're asking from across the pond. So how is this possible? How is a man that covers the beautiful game of football or soccer able to have this many good picks? We needed answers. And that is why we finally trapped him after him playing a game with his club Houston Falcons on the Swiss Soccer League here in Houston, Texas. Oh, my apologies. Stafford, Texas. And so we caught him and we asked him questions. And here, this is the interview. Hector, thank you for giving us your time.
Oh, didn't get much of a choice now, did I?
Entering week 4 of this NFL season, Hector, what game do you believe is the game of the week per se?
Wait, American football?
Correct, American football. What else did you think we'd be talking about today?
Well, I would assume since I just played a soccer game that we would be talking about, soccer. I thought I guess I'm the one confused here. All right. So what's the question?
What is your game of the week?
Game to watch this weekend? I mean, there's some games, I guess, to be excited about this weekend, but, obviously the talk of the town is going to be Tampa Bay versus the New England Patriots. Tom Brady's return to New England. How's it going to be, obviously, with Belichick and Brady, where that relationship is? Are we going to see Robert Kraft do something? Are they going to do, is the Patriots going to do something for Tom Brady? So I guess, as far as the game itself, I don't think it's going to be that good. Patriots are definitely not the Patriots anymore without Brady. At least that's what it looks like now. Tampa Bay looks really good right now. So, and the way Mac Jones is not, it's not necessarily because of the quality of the game. It's probably just going to be just because of the nostalgia reasons. Obviously, the Patriots fans getting to see Tom Brady is probably the storyline to watch. So I guess that's the game to watch this weekend. Are we gonna talk anything soccer related? I mean, we just I literally just played a game and we won that game, so I figured that's what.
Please, Mr. Flores,
Oh,
just
okay.
answer the questions that we are asking, and we'll get this over with. Now,
Um,
who do you believe is your favorite?
well, I mean, I guess if I had to have a favorite, I mean, my lock, I guess. I would go with Buffalo Bills. Texans. Well, they're not necessarily, going to be good. I mean, it sucks to say that as a Texans fan, but they're just not good right now. So, yeah, I mean, the Bills look really good. I don't know about the point spread too much. I think maybe I feel like the Texans could probably cover that. I think it's a really high point spread, but I don't see the Texans winning that game either. So, but maybe they cover. So if you guys, it's a lock that the Bills are going to win. But I mean, if you want to take that bet, I would take that bet for sure. I mean, I don't think the Texans are going to get outbeat that badly. But yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Flores.
So is there any soccer questions happening at all in this interview that you guys chased me down to happen?
Please, Mr. Flores, just answer the questions that we are asking from you. Now, we just need to know,
soccer game.
What is your upset for this week?
All right, my upset? Man, my upset. Sheesh. My upset, man. That's gonna be tricky this week, man. That's gonna be really, really tricky this week. As far as finding an upset, for this one, but I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think the Colts can get the upset against the Miami Dolphins. The point spread, not necessarily a lot. So is it really an upset? Give or take, but I like the Colts' odds against the Miami Dolphins this week. So
thank you for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Flores. The interview is over now. Thank you for your time.
Interview? What was the point of all this? I mean, I'm just curious at this point, because. Okay. All right. Can I go now? All right. Cool.
Oh, Hector, you nailed that one, buddy. And we gonna have to comment, like, we'll bring this up later, but he has been killing it picks wise. We won't show the record yet, but he has been killing it.
I'm telling you, he is just a football dude. It doesn't matter which football you talk about. I've said it since week one, since he killed us all week one. He is just a football dude.
Yeah, my buddy on Football Fridays is definitely, he's embracing both sides. I love this week. It's just for the fact he's like, I am a soccer guy.
Thanks for driving it home, Hector. We know we are getting beat by a soccer guy who was just out of his mind with his picks. Thank you.
He's still in the chat. Like, I'm waiting for the smack talk at this point. I know he had a comment earlier, so I'm kind of surprised.
Nah, he had to go celebrate his soccer victories. He did just score his first goal for his soccer team the other day. So
that's right. It was a left-footed goal, right?
I don't know. Right. All I know is I want to see a video of the celebration, because we've seen the sad Hector videos. Which you guys, if you haven't seen the sad Hector videos on Twitter yet, go look at any of the Twitter posts from Insert Name FC or Unhinged FC, and you'll see in the comments his own account trolling him with his sad Hector videos, and so I just need to see happy Hector videos with the celebration.
Can we just Photoshop Hector's face on Urban Meyer and that'll be his happy celebration? Would that fit?
We've already turned Hector into the Unhinged FC logo, so there's not much more. At this point in time, the only thing left is to turn him into the 4th and 4 logo, because he's just killing all of us in picks.
He can be the he can be the yard measurements. It's going along.
Put a little soccer ball on one end, put a wall on the other end. 10 yards.
We're gonna delay Hector's time to shine once more for pick'ems, as we'll get you our third quarter underway. Talking a bit some betting tidbits, if you will, maybe some games we're watching out for, money lines, over unders you like. Guys, let's take it away. Anything catching your eye this week that says yes, please?
Well, I mean, look, Hector had a really good point with the Bills-Texans spread. That's a 17-point spread in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's not easy to cover. Like most games in the NFL are pretty much at most. I think the most I've seen really consistently is 10. I mean, 17 is just. I feel like that's unheard of in some rigs. That just shows you how big of a route it should be. But I kind of want to stick with Hector and say the Texans are potentially out here ready to cover that spread. I know that seems almost blasphemous, but David Johnson is still good for 1 or 2 touchdowns a game. But for me, like I said earlier, the Lions, I'm still bullish on the Lions, and I love them for the money line right now. Plus 125, I think is, technically they're underdogs, but it's not by much. But it's still, I mean, look, I look at that, and that's just a team ready to go pulling out of the hat, if you will, for the Lions. So give me the Lions on the money line. As I said, I'm kind of sticking with Hector on the Texans Bills with that 17-point spread, thinking the Texans are going to cover that. I mean, they've already surprised a few teams this year already, so wouldn't be too shocking if they cover.
Yeah, continuing development of Davis Mills will be something to watch out for, week by week. They're obviously leaning on him as possibly moving forward as a future franchise piece if everything works out. And I mean, there's even talks right now that Philadelphia might have gotten the green light to try and talk for a trade for Deshaun Watson. So that's also on the horizon at some point. Who knows if that ever gets worked out. DJ, what's catching your eye? I got at least one, but I'm going to hold off unless you bring it up. I don't know if we're on the same wavelength right now, but
I got a mini list here covering all forms of betting, so be ready for this one as well too. We're going to start with San Francisco being a -3 favorite over Seattle. I'd say take Seattle to win that one outright. San Francisco's hurting in the secondary. They've struggled. They struggle a little bit against the Packers, and they struggle a little bit against the Eagles offensively. Seattle's 1-2. Their backs are against the wall, and they always play San Francisco tough. Even when San Francisco was going to the Super Bowl and Seattle was treading water, Seattle was within inches and yards of beating them during that time too. So the secondary is a little bit weaker for San Francisco, as I mentioned. Look for Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and look for Russell Wilson to throw to his tight ends, not just bombs away the whole time. Look for him to at least keep it close, minimize it, and then Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner. That's going to mitigate the run game and George Kittle. And they'll basically say, Jimmy, throw deep to Deebo Samuel every play, and we'll see how consistently he can do that as well, too. And the other one as far as the spreads, look for Dallas at -4.5 over Carolina. I think Dallas will win, but Carolina's going to cover that. That defense is incredibly stout. The offense is very underrated. The fact that Trayvon Diggs was NFC Defensive Player of the Month still amazes me, and I think that's going to get exposed today by Robbie Anderson as well as others, as I mentioned earlier during fantasy football. So imagine Carolina to cover that one. At least keep it close. I still think Dallas will win, though.
I can already hear.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you're good. I'm holding the joke off.
We're gonna hold up. We're gonna check in on the money lines as well too. We mentioned Buffalo -1600, which is absolutely insane. Kansas City is only a -300 favorite over Philadelphia. That feels to me incredibly low by comparison. Tennessee is -300 over the Jets, the winless Jets. New Orleans is a -335 over the Giants. I mentioned Buffalo -1600. Tampa Bay is -320 over New England. Like -300 feels a little bit low. Even Cincinnati was a -330 favorite over Jacksonville. Like that feels a little bit low for Kansas City. That could be a easy one to maybe bring home a few extra dollars as well too if you want to bet big and get a little bit of a return. And we're going to check in on over-unders. Bears Lions is 41.5 for the over-under. Take the over on that one because I feel like that one's going to be not high scoring, but as Zach has mentioned and Ed knows at nauseum, the Bears secondary has some holes to say the least. And same with the Lions secondary, which is already thin. No Jeff Okudah. There's some spots in there as well too. Look for Justin Fields to get things going a little bit. David Montgomery as well too. So take the over on that one. I don't think it's going to be 21-20. Look for 28-24, but still getting the over. Denver and the Ravens, 44.5. Go with the under on this one. Denver's defense has been absolutely fantastic. Their offense has been not bad, basically not turning it over, helping the defense out. Teddy Bridgewater's been incredibly efficient. The running game's been solid. Melvin Gordon's dinged up, so that's going to take away a little bit something from him. Go with the under on that one. I see that one being a 20-17 type game. Both defensive-heavy teams. Lamar Jackson's basically the Ravens' offense, and they will run the ball ad nauseum, similar to what Georgia did yesterday. That is how they will try to win. Difference is they're not going against Arkansas on the other side. So take the under. Look for that to be a 20-17 type game as well, too. So I think that one's going to be a very interesting battle it out type of game.
I would say to add to that Broncos game, if you're running a parlay and you get to use props, there's a Tim Patrick over under on catches because of the Melvin Gordon injury. He's at 3.5 on the over under. Definitely take the over on that because of Melvin Gordon's injury, because those little flick forward passes that Teddy Bridgewater and those Broncos do to Tim Patrick still count as passes and still count as receptions. And especially with Melvin Gordon being injured, those little flip passes, you can almost guarantee there's 2 of those. Plus, he's going to get at least 1 deep shot because there's no other deep weapon other than Tim Patrick right now that's healthy. And yeah, you're going to get at least 1 first down at the chains sort of out route with him. And there's your 4 catches. Too easy.
Absolutely, especially KJ Hamler or Judy. The receiving core is hurting, which makes me want to hammer home the under even more. Like it's going to be points are going to be at a premium in this game as well too. You might be Marlon Humphrey covers Noah Fant. It's like, all right, it's Tim Patrick or bust, and Tim Patrick will get you the props, but I don't know if he'll be able to help you get the over in that game as well.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, that one's going to be a tad low scoring, to say the least. I mean, Denver's toughest challenge to date, of course, with Baltimore. So you're going to see some struggles, I think, and maybe so a bit of adjustment. Tim Patrick coming back does help that case for betting and for the win. But I understand completely. I only have 2. One of them you highlighted, by the way, in terms of just kind of the plus minus. Really, DJ is the Seattle and 49ers game, which I will say didn't realize this stats. Russell Wilson has never lost 3 straight games in his career. Also, the 49ers have not gotten. They haven't covered the over in 2 of the 3 games. So possibility you might have a swing. I know that affects the pick 'em as well. Actually affects my pick for the week, but I'm betting against trends. I don't know. I'm just saying. And then because you guys brought it all up, this is why I'm bringing it up. I think the over under in terms of the Chicago Detroit game really is up to debate as to how Matt Nagy adjusts his offense or who the hell's calling plays or what they do. Because honestly, Detroit is a hard-nosed fighting team right now. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight, but in all honesty, they've at some point in each game, or at least even last week, they were either in it or should have won in a contest with some factors or a record-setting game-winning field goal, of course, in play from 66 out. So I think if you're looking at Chicago, it all comes down to, do you roll the guy out? Do you let him run more of an RPO offense that spreads it out? Or do you stay kind of constricted and in the pocket? Because to me, I'm looking at the under, and I know I don't want it either. I don't want the constricted pocket either. I can see Kelsey shaking his head. Trust me, I don't want him getting killed because Justin Fields is starting today. But if they do it again, if they do it again, I'm going with the under. I'm saying it right now because I do not have much faith in that offense as it is. And I know Detroit's kind of a low-hanging fruit for possibly a win. But when you're debating on how bad Chicago is and that they might be as bad as Detroit and that this offense can't generate jack, I'm not going to say that word. You're just, I think that's one that can go either or.
But my reasoning that they can help get part of the over is because that's not Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and an entire squad being unblocked on the other side as well too. And I think if Matt Nagy's going to Matt Nagy and Justin Fields will just say, F it, I got this. And Justin Fields will Justin Fields his way for a couple of points as well too. Not saying who will win or lose in that one, but I think this is a game Justin Fields could be like, you know what, I got this because I don't know about you guys, but I'm very high on Justin Fields. I think he's going to be great as soon as Matt Nagy gets fired. And I think that this is the type of game he could do that because Myles Garrett's not starting the play wrapped around him. He actually has a chance to, move or throw the ball. It's not going to be as miserable as what happened in Cleveland for them last week.
I have no doubt that that's going to be the case. I'm just curious if you see a coach get in his own way again. The MO, usual.
I think this is going to be the perfect game. This is why I'm bullish on the Lions. This is the game that's going to get Matt Nagy fired, and I think. I think
it will if he loses. It should have gotten him fired last year. The Lions almost forced that last season later in the year.
Look, let's not forget the Lions always play the Bears, especially under Matt Nagy, really, really competitively. It doesn't make sense how bad the Lions are. Like they still play the Bears competitively, and this Lions team is actually surprisingly not as bad as most people make it out to be. Yeah, they're thin at wide receiver, but they have a lot of weapons that they can use on their defense. I mean, their corners are not terrible corners either. Like there's much worse cornerback groups in the NFC North than the Detroit Lions. Let's be completely fair about that. Yeah. So the linebacking core, obviously, there's some work that needs to be done there. But the defensive line obviously is still a little bit negligent as far as talent goes. But there's things that can be done that the Lions can take advantage of with the Bears offensive line, and that's just that makes them that easy kind of low hanging fruit for an upset.
My last piece on this, and just as for our segment here, and getting away from Chicago for a second, kind of a unique point with the Bills, like the -17 being that case. I mean, I know that the Texans have, in the eyes of the public, have looked like a dumpster fire, but I mean, even then, I don't. -17 is kind of you're really shooting for the stars, I think, in any case right now. I mean, that's a hard fighting football team. I think you're taking a risk that it's going to be but Bills have played well. They've blown people out of the water since that ugly loss in Pittsburgh. But
we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like we're already like, yeah, throw a 17 on there. It's cool. It's going to happen. Guaranteed. Josh Allen will just rip it apart.
If they had a running game, if Buffalo had a running game, I'd feel a little bit more like, yeah, okay, 17 points should be no problem. But like, I'm not relying on Josh Allen to get me 70 yards rushing every single game and hoping that's successful. Like, I need a solid running game from the Bills to feel good about a 17-point spread.
Yeah. Well, someone's going to take it. I will probably not. I shy away from the looks almost ridiculous look on any bet, and that's one of those. I'm like, this feels like a trap. I'm throwing my money at a trap right now.
When my jaw drops and I start scanning all the other over under or spreads, and like this is the biggest by like 10, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is the trap. This is the bad one. Insert it's a trap gif here.
That's I'm bailing from the trap. What I am bailing into though is bad memories of last week. We're going to jump into quarter number 4. It's the pick'em. It's a recap of the pick'em. It's the moment I've been waiting to just kind of sit and brace for impact. Good God! Here's the funny thing. After last week, a little banter with me and Kelsey go, well, why are you so low on the overalls? And then I get a 9 and 6, and I'm like, oh great, we're not so far apart as you and I think in the overalls.
How does it feel to be just an average pick'em person now, Zach? How does
it feel? I feel mediocre, and that teams betrayed me. You know who really betrayed me? The 49ers. Put the damn ball at the 1 yard line and I get the island pick. But no, you got Kyle Juszczyk going in for a touchdown. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have, and of course it's in the moment, but you put it at the 1 yard line, you kill the clock. Rodgers doesn't get a miraculous 37-second chance to go and kick a field goal, and I get to laugh this week. But no,
is it honestly miraculous when we consider how many times Aaron Rodgers has done some silly stuff like that? Like, you're just like, that's too.
Even I knew it was too. Even though I know it was too much time. Like 37 seconds is nothing to a man like that person. I've been burned with similar stakes in my own games. I already know what was going to happen.
No, you can't give a man 37 seconds who can flick the ball 80 yards. It's too much time.
It didn't help. Human Devonta Adams on the receiving end of those as well too. A guy who does not feel pain.
It didn't help either that Garoppolo threw one of the ugliest fumble moves I've ever seen to basically make that game a score and make it a field goal, arm's length. I mean, if the 49ers score on that touchdown drive, it's a touchdown's length the way they have. It's a little bit different.
Ands, butts, coconuts, either way, moving on.
It was funny. It was funny. I'm not having a good laugh on my picks, but it's not funny. This week we got 3 of either I'd say hyped or really good contests. And yeah, Kelsey just popped that one on the screen. I'm just gonna throw you up on this, folks. This is the most overhyped game I have ever been anticipating. That people have been throwing up the promos on NBC like crazy. I mean, look at our picks. I do not have faith that this will be a good game. I know why the hype's here. Just doing a monologue. I know why it's here. But I'm not going to tell you that this is a good game. Like, it's going. The nostalgia is what you're in here for. You are here for this nostalgia candy.
Don't take away the reason for them to tune into our color cast tonight when we call.
Well, I didn't say you
return a Brady and give away a Brady jersey.
I'm riffing on NBC. It's not even you. You didn't overhype this. NBC overhyped this. This is their fault. Let's be frank.
I'm going to take
nothing on you guys.
I'm going to take the opposite approach. I think it's going to be weirdly close. I remember when Peyton Manning returned to Indianapolis, the Colts were like 3-2. Denver was in the middle of their 55 touchdown Peyton Manning heroic season, and they said it was going to be a wash. Colts ended up winning that game. Now, I don't think New England's going to win this game by any means, and I think Tampa Bay is going to cover the 7-point spread, but maybe a 10-point game, like 35-25, something like that. But I think it's going to be weirdly close, especially early on. Then Brady's going to Brady it away at the end of it. He's going to be like, oh, Mike Evans down there somewhere. We got Chris Godwin out there somewhere. And the only way that I think Tampa Bay, or the Patriots have a chance to win is that they actually open up the playbook for Mac Jones. Looking at his passing chart, it's everything within 15 yards, and most of it's just slightly outside the tackle box, swing passes, short out routes, etc. They need to hit the seams, go up the middle, let Mac Jones throw it down the field a little bit if they want to have a chance. But at this point, I agree with you. It's going to be Tampa Bay. I think that's almost unanimous, but I think it'll be a little bit closer. I do think it'll be a little bit closer than it should be, just for that reason as well, too. Maybe Tom Brady's a little rough early, but he'll clean house. Tom Brady's not losing this game. I'd be shocked if he did.
Well, that's why I'm bringing up. I think it's like, is Mac Jones really going to throw it downfield consistently well? We saw what happened last week. It still isn't fully there. It's still a dink and dunk team with you need to lean on the run,
Knowing Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, they're spiteful and weird enough. They will sacrifice games before this to keep it off of film. And then be like, all right, now we're breaking out the downfield passing attack we've been practicing. Like, they're spiteful enough to willing to sacrifice 2 games just to break it out and maybe beat Tom Brady. Which I will say, when we did our preseason picks, if Cam Newton was playing in this game and was the starter, I was picking New England to win this game because I think he'd be able to handle that defense and the exotic looks they bring out and give him that extra element. But no Cam Newton, this is why we switched to the Patriots. For anyone who heard me and Kelsey's preseason predictions when we talked about it beforehand, that's why the switch now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. And then look, don't forget there's that secret weapon that Tampa Bay can throw out there now in the myth, the legend, Richard Sherman. They lose Gronk, which, by the way, I was super curious. Like, would Gronk have gotten an opportunity to have like a celebration in his own right? Because let's not forget, he was there for 3. I mean, he literally dented one of the trophies. So he has experience with those trophies in New England. And I don't know. I was more curious to see how they would react to Gronk than they were to Brady. We all know what's about to happen. It's going to be a love fest for Brady. It's no different than whatever it normally is, a Brady game, and everybody just loves on him. Yes, I'm speaking as a spiteful fan who has dealt with a little too much Brady love in his career. And I just look, this game I'm kind of with Zach on it. Like, I'm not a big fan of how much they love to hype this one up as the Bill versus Brady comments, but I get it. Like, it's a big deal. It is the ultimate question of our generation, though. Is it Bill or was it Brady that built the dynasty? Like, which one is more responsible for that dynasty? And that's hopefully what people are hoping to see answered. The problem is this game should happen 2 years from now when Mac Jones has had 2 years in the system. Everybody's healthy. We have, and the problem is Tom Brady might not be around at that point in time. He might have crumpled into dust by that point in time. He is a vampire, so only so much sunshine can he survive.
His blood pact will have run out earlier than he thought.
Yeah,
it's time to reclaim the debt.
His deal with the devil is definitely winding down time for sure. But I guess he sacrifices Gronk's health every season to get an extra couple games out of it all. I honestly don't get it anymore. How the guy's 40 plus years old and still plays like he's 30. He still is more handsome than he was when he got drafted, and that just bothers me. I'm sorry, it can't work that way. Like,
the best genetics money can buy.
Well,
yeah,
got a quote from got a quote from the Brady fan himself.
Oh, here we go.
Who it is?
No, Jim, we don't know who it is, and that's the problem. Nobody knows who it is. It's definitely not Robert Kraft. We know that much, though. That much we can just assure you that Robert Kraft never has a happy ending.
I hope everyone else caught that.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
So moving on to our other primetime games.
Moving on that note, let's get a game. Well, the next two are really kind of split. It's a little different, and one that I think you guys should definitely be watching is going to be LA and Arizona. We've been outside of the show
Which
or
LA,
inside
Zach?
Which
LA?
You're funny. I know it's funny. I'm being silly. The Rams. There we go. I gotta specify. Although it's fair to forget the Chargers because it seems like people forget anyway. I mean, the Cowboys, for Christ's sake, came in and they made it their home stadium. So like,
Kansas City remembers them.
I don't know if you can say that the Cowboys made that their home stadium. More like the Cowboys got lucky and escaped out of SoFi Stadium.
but fans, they came in. It was Jerry's World 2.0.
Look, man, to be fair, they were playing in Dignity Park, which is like 14,000 seats in it last season. And they, now you're like, okay, go fill a 70,000 seat stadium in a city that you never played in before. Like, good luck.
And we're having a conversation that's been like 5 years in the making, abandoning a city type of situation.
Send them back to San Diego. They deserve better in San Diego.
Yeah, they can go play. They can share with San Diego State or something, and then figure out how they will build a stadium somewhere in that area. Was the problem? But here's the deal: it's the Rams. So let's just clarifying that, so we can get that out of the way. Then we got the Cardinals. Pretty hyped up. I mean, the NFC West is just a fantastic division in its own right. This year, you couldn't ask for a better, well put together division in terms of teams that all could have a stake if they wanted to in a playoff berth. I mean, if it was possible, which it kind of is. I mean, it is possible. But it's still like, man, all of them would have to be there all year, But especially the new format, it's possible. But man, it's such a good division. This is one of many kind of like primed to be I hope to be classic games of the season from the NFC West. And they get to go to the desert. The Rams do, that is. So let's see here. Looking at this again, just want to pop it up one more time. So I actually want to get this with I'm already on siding with DJ, so I'm kind of wanting to hear what the high-low crew has on the split for this one. I could see why there's a split. I've already had conversations with even my own buddies where it's like, are you sure? I think the Cardinals could take this. But let's hear the points that most people bring up or that you guys maybe found.
Kelsey, you can go first.
Oh, God. Why is it always me? No, look.
More people pick the Rams than the Cardinals, so you defend first.
Well, it's easy to defend my preseason pick for NFC West winners at by the way 10-7, whereas everybody else in the division was 9-8 in my opinion. So this is a competitive game. This is the game that I had Arizona winning because, well, by the way, at Arizona. So that's the important part here, and that's why I have them winning it. LA, look, they're fantastic right now. There's no question about it. How they perform with everybody healthy again, I don't know. But you can't overlook what Arizona's been doing this season. I mean, that defense is stout and stout and stout and more stout. And that offense looks really good all the way around. And I think this is going to come down to just a dynamic player making a play. And I don't know if there's another more dynamic player in the league than maybe Kyler Murray, at least not in the NFC that I can think of at quarterback. I mean, really, he is probably the definition of dynamic as a quarterback. And when you need a play to be made, I mean, we remember the DeAndre Hopkins catch. Well, that all started with Kyler's magic. And so I'm gonna give the nod here to Arizona, but it's gonna be a close game. I mean, really, I was split on this one. This was like a 51-49 type of split, but I went with what I did in the preseason, which is the Cardinals winning this game.
Fair enough. I don't disagree at all with in terms of how this is kind of right down the middle. I mean, Kyler Murray alone, you're in any game now. Like now that especially now that you have 3 years under his belt, like you're in any game now at this point with a veteran Kyler Murray, and that receiving core is just jacked. And last week it proved that you can diversify. AJ Green still can play if needed, and still can put up numbers without D-Hop getting any really much receptions or attention. So you got a lot to worry about. However, I would say though, and I think DJ will agree with me in terms of why I chose this, the Rams I still see as an overall more complete package.
Weirdly enough, Kelsey and I did the same math, but came to different conclusions. A lot of our reasoning is almost the exact same as well, too. Right down to the 51-49 thing. I lean a little more towards the Rams because I think they have just a couple more X-factor type players in defensive, especially on the defensive side. Aaron Donald, I know Rodney Hudson and that rebuild offensive line for the Cardinals has been significantly better, but I think Aaron Donald's still going to find a way to wreak just enough havoc. I think Jalen Ramsey, he always gives DeAndre Hopkins a little bit of fits. No one stops D-Hop, but you can at least give him fits a little bit. I think that's going to not take him out of the game, but make it a little bit harder to say, screw it, D-Hop out there somewhere. And I think offensively, The Rams are 5 deep at receiver. There's no secondary in the game that can really keep up with them. And I think they're going to, and because it's the NFC West, this one is in Arizona. It feels like the Rams will win this one. Then the Cardinals will win the one in SoFi because the NFC West is backwards. It's because of how great it is. It makes no sense. So I think I think these two are going to split, but the away team's going to win both of them. So I got the Rams taking this one and the Cardinals taking the later one in a similar way of it is 51-49 for me.
Also, I was wrong. It is actually in SoFi.
It isn't SoFi. Well, yeah, that kind of ruins my pick. Now I'm going to have to switch to the Cardinals now.
Yeah, I also am. I went backwards on my picks as well. So, well, I'm sticking with it.
Well, either way, everything else still stands with Aaron Donald and the Rams. Still, I think they have just a little bit more playmakers. I think they'll split, but right now the Rams are playing at probably the best they'll play for most of the season as well. The Cardinals still working a little bit. I think the Cardinals they'll be fine. Like they'll both be playoff contenders down the stretch. They're both undefeated for a reason, but right now I feel like the Rams right now, good luck stopping them. You're going to need another level of set of dynamic playmakers. And I don't know if the Cardinals are quite there yet.
Here's a question for you. DeAndre Hopkins or Cooper Kupp. Who do you pick for this season?
For stat-wise or just in general?
If you're a coach looking for a number one receiver.
Oh, so you still take D-Hop. He could do with anybody.
Yeah, same.
You still take D-Hop. Like Cooper Kupp's amazing. And he's fantastic. He's probably he might be the best statistical receiver this year when it's all done.
Now, if you're the Patriots.
Okay. Can I take Hunter Renfrow?
Sorry, I just couldn't stop myself. Anyways.
You can in this next game, or the final pick'em that we have for our trio, which we are going to be talking about the other LA team because it really is the other LA team. Let's be honest, people.
By the way, also
the Chargers exist, but yeah, also the Chargers do exist. They are going to be taking on the new son of a. There we go. The Las Vegas Raiders in the desert. And for those that have known or been following the NFL closely, you may be saying, "Oh, hey, the Raiders look pretty good." The Chargers, 2-1, living up to so far, I think, the expectations that they've had during the season. Sans close loss to Dallas, but still 2-1. Being one of the tops in the division, only behind a surprising Denver and a surprising Las Vegas team right now, and kind of is going to be a first test to see, which of these two might be able to hold up to what I expect, and I think others expect, is a resurgent and definitely will rebound Kansas City team, unless the wheels somehow fall off entirely. Diop made Brian Hoyer look good. Yeah, he did.
He made Brock Osweiler look good. He'd make me look good if I wanted to suit up. Like he'll make anybody look good.
D-Hop is just like a magical cure for any quarterback. You want, just like DJ always says, D-Hop there somewhere. Yeah, he's there for anyone.
He is an equal opportunity catch ball receiver when it comes down to it. He will catch anything from anyone at any given point in time. He'd be like the NFL quarterback support group leader. He's always going to have your back. He is the definition of a wide receiver.
Absolutely.
He's there for you. He has a wide range, and he receives the ball. Two things that connect. You know who else
is the Chargers and the Raiders now?
Yeah, has good receivers, by the way. At least the Chargers have the name brands, but I mean, I want to focus here. I guess I'll lead off since out of the three of us, I kind of represent.
Focus on this man.
Yes,
is that who you're going to focus on?
I want to refocus on that man. I mean, that's not really the main one. I mean, he still is. Now, I say still go for the fantasy pick on him if you have or pick up if you have a chance. But let's talk here. Let's talk with the Raiders, okay? We have been sitting here and going, all right, John Gruden got that 10-year contract. When the hell is he going to get fired because he keeps getting middle of the road seasons and the defense has not lived up to snuff? Well, let me tell you something, buddy. This year, and I'm going to put myself in my own isolation chamber on the screen. Let me tell you something, folks. That defense is finally doing some stuff. It's getting pressure. You know what it wasn't doing in recent years? It wasn't getting pressure. Max Crosby took himself to another level. Carl Nassib taking himself to another level this season. Secondary, he has spurts. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. It still is somewhat leaky, but it's not fully leaky like the early Gruden days. And if you're getting pressure, that already helps a lot. And we don't even need to talk much about Derek Carr because the fact is, Derek Carr, this might be his best season yet. This man is lighting up the stat sheets. He has been throwing it like a madman. He is currently one of the MVP candidates, in my opinion, right now in the NFL for his play. He's also the NFL's passing leader. He's been doing a lot. And with a receiving core that many people thought, well, it's just Darren Waller. No, it's not just Darren Waller. He's been throwing it all over the place. Hunter Renfrow, I've already been mentioning, of course, so I don't even have to bring it up. Henry Ruggs has been getting more catches, someone that I didn't think would get a lot
Not
more.
enough, though.
Not enough. You're absolutely right. But the diversity of that offense is coming into full strength. Everything seems to be falling into place finally for Chucky and the gang. And I think this is another game that's kind of exemplifies it. They're also playing in Las Vegas. Get the home field advantage. The black hole in
they're playing in LA.
Dang it, your organizations of these graphics are killing me with this. This is like soccer arrangements.
Home is first, away is second. What are you talking about?
Flip it.
Home and away. That way that's why it says LA versus Las Vegas. It would say LA at Las Vegas.
Okay.
Big brain moves, Zach. Big brain moves.
I'll just relearn soccer because I had to do this with the European League of Football and it messed me up for half a season. So I thought I was done with it, but that's on me. So anyway,
you cover ELF. You're fine. You got this.
In SoFi. Whatever, man. It's gonna be a Raiders game anyway. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest, folks.
He's not wrong.
I mean, it's really gonna be a Raiders game. If Cowboys fans came out and they're in freaking Southern California, which by the way, the Raiders have, as we last checked in terms of popularity polls, the Raiders are still more popular than the Chargers, and they still represent more than the Chargers.
I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but that doesn't mean they're going to win the game now. I mean, the Raiders have had one of the best fan bases since for about 2 decades now. I mean, let's not get hasty now, Zach.
Also, this is Hector's counter to that. There's a lot of Cowboys fans in LA. There's a lot of Cowboys fans worldwide. Let's be honest.
There are a lot of Cowboys fans worldwide. Let's be fair. Let's be fair with that. I already made my points. I'm just saying. I think with a Derek Carr who has found like another level and an offense that seems to be clicking at the right moment. Also, by the way, I didn't even mention the running backs. Even without Josh Jacobs, I mean, I don't know. Kenny Drake's been enough supplement, you know. And when you see Jacobs at more of a healthy state,
Peyton
that's
Barber.
another piece. I know Peyton Barber has also been stepping it up too.
But will we see a healthy Josh Jacobs this week? He's doubtful yet again. Still
injured. That's why I bring that up, of course. But you know, it's
John Gruden destroyed him by running him to the ground week 1 when he was already hurt, and you set him back a few more weeks too. So I get that week 1 seems to have hurt him, but we'll see if Josh Jacobs is healthy. It makes it a different game, but I don't know if he's going to be healthy or he's going to be as useful as you'd like.
I think this is a close one for me. This was the 51-49 pick for me. Not going to lie, but I still see. I think this is the year the Raiders and Chucky have finally put things together, and they'll probably finish second in the NFC West with a wild card.
Can we just talk about? We've gone this entire time talking about the Chargers and the Raiders, and you know who we haven't talked? What we haven't talked about with the Chargers? Who did they just beat last week?
They just beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. Just beat the best team in the NFL. Let's be completely honest. The best built team in the NFL right now. Best offensive team for sure.
Tampa Bay has entered the chat.
But Justin Herbert, you want to talk about MVP candidate? Hello, Justin Herbert's here. Welcome to the scene. You talk about name brand receivers. They have Keenan Allen, brand. And then a guy by the name of Mike Williams, who everybody forgot that was a number 1 Clemson receiver before Hunter Renfrow existed, before D-Hop existed.
They're using him more.
Yeah.
An actual
Austin Eckler.
Deep threat, you know?
If nobody's, again, I will repeat this, if nobody listened to our last episode of the podcast or didn't listen to our preseason predictions and didn't listen to anything DJ said about the fantasy football this season, Austin Eckler in the PPR league should have been your number 1 get. And if you didn't, well, you messed up.
I warned you guys. I warned you.
On top of that, he's throwing to tight ends that I don't even know who they are. And he's making them successful. And Derwin James, hi. Welcome back to the league. Thank you. Bosa, hello. Welcome back to the league. And I'm not even counting Asante Samuel Jr., who potentially right now is a top 10 cornerback overall in the league. Not just as a rookie, but overall with the way he's been playing lately. I mean, they're just absolutely fantastic. Adderley as well. I mean, this Chargers team is a terrifying team. And I swear to God, how many times can the Raiders go to overtime and sneak away with a victory? Because it's got to end. It has got to end, and it will end in emphatic fashion when they face the Chargers, in my opinion.
I just look at it too, and you kind of mentioned it. Everything that the Raiders do exceptional, the Chargers have an answer for. We have Darren Waller. We have Derwin James. We have Hunter Renfrow. We have Asante Samuel. We have Carl Nassib and Max Crosby. We have Rashawn Slater and Austin Eckler to get the ball out too quickly. Our secondary is improved. That's Keenan Allen over there. That's Mike Williams, who has been playing for a contract this year and looks like a guy who's taken number 7 overall in the draft. We have an improved defense. Our offensive line is completely improved. We have Derek Carr. We have Justin Herbert. Seems like everywhere you go with it, the Chargers have a little bit of an edge across the board. I feel like, and you mentioned too, the Raiders have snuck by in a few of these ones. They're 3-0, but could easily be 1-2 with the snap of a finger, really. And I think Justin Herbert, that game against the Cowboys was a little of an anomaly. What we saw last week against Kansas City, I think that's what we're going to see from Justin Herbert. He's going to be throwing whole shots 50 yards down the field. He's going to be in his bag of tricks if they contain Max Crosby. And I think the defense, Brandon Staley's a defensive genius. He is a defensive Sean McVay. He's going to basically force the Raiders to have to run the ball 30 times. And Peyton Barber did look good last week against Miami, but they won that game because Derek Carr is Derek Carr. I think they're going to find a way to slow down that passing game just enough. And if Josh Jacobs was healthy, maybe that makes things a little bit harder, but he's a difference maker at running back that I don't know if Peyton Barber and Kenyon Drake can emulate. And there's still questions for me, at least, about that Raiders offensive line. You lost, 4 starters in the offseason, including Rodney Hudson and Trent Brown, your star center and right tackle. Richie Incognito is still incognito. You haven't seen him play a whole lot. We've seen the guy from Alabama, Alex Leatherwood. He's going to have to deal with Joey Bosa now. Have fun with that. Like he's had a little bit of rough in certain parts of the season. Now you have Joey Bosa spinning off the edge. We'll see, but I'm leaning towards the Chargers. They were also my preseason prediction to be an AFC West wildcard team, so I'm going to stick with that as well, too. And I think Justin Herbert's coming into his own right now, so give me the Chargers, but I do agree with you. It'll be a close one in the Raiders. I think they are for real. They just might unfortunately be the victim of being in the AFC West, which as Kansas City is the bottom feeder right now. And they will be the bottom feeder after this week, regardless of what happens.
That's true.
Just even if they're tied with the Chargers have the tiebreaker. So no matter what Kansas City does this week, they will be the cellar dweller for at least one more week, which is I feel like I need to wash my mouth out with soap just saying that. It doesn't feel right.
You need to step aside. You
need to take a moment here, guys.
Kick your camera off. You got to go get that, Justin. Luckily, it's the end of the show, so you don't have to wait too much longer to get that dirty taste out of your mouth. I do want to bring up something because I've seen it in the comments, and I just want a good laugh again. And because I'm petty, here's Jim. This is not your.
Oh, I saw that. No, don't worry. You know what I'm going to show you? I'm going to show you exactly how you write your schedules. This is from the Raiders organization. No, everybody notice something? How it has verses and then ats and then verses and ats.
Oh yeah.
The team you're talking about, your primary team goes first. In all cases with sports, the primary team is always the home team, and then it will be versus the other team when you're talking at it from a neutral state. When you're talking about it from a biased state, it will be Raiders at Chargers. But we're not biased here, are we, guys? We are an unbiased organization, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, totally.
So we speak from an unbiased point of view.
Props to you for having that
home versus away team.
Props to you for having that ready to go, by the way.
At home.
I'm so happy you were ready to go with that graphic to be like, this is a lesson, kids. Here we go. It's time to learn you some.
Or two. Let me teach you another win on Kelsey's Island over here.
All right, yeah, go ahead, Professor.
Kelsey's Island. This is going to be 4-2 before the week's games even start. All because of Jim. All because of Jim.
It's not eating W's right now, I'm afraid.
And then Hector just it's not a Euro format. Let's get correct, people. It's just a sports writing format.
I mean, to me, it's a Euro format. I'm just
surrounded by geniuses.
I'm just pulling the dumb American card.
Intellectual day.
I'm just pulling the dumb American card here. That's not what they do on my American apps. They should, you should do it like that. Buffering. Okay. Well, it's the end of the show anyway. So
Just like just like Jim's normal picks when he talks about Tom Brady buffering.
I'm out. I'm getting before this gets any uglier. I'm getting out of here. Messing around, folks.
Like
thank you for tuning
in a sports bar.
Everyone, let's make sure we keep an eye on him. Hope he's okay. Like I don't want to. It could get messy. If you're watching from Columbus, Ohio, please give us a bit of an APB on that. Let us know what's going down. Maybe he does need our help. Okay, I'm just saying he could use it a bit. Anyway, I'm not gonna share that comment. That
Jim with an offensive comment in the post. Mediator, get Jim. Yep, oh wait, I guess I am the mediator. Hang on.
Throw it out.
Put user in timeout. I didn't know that was an option. I just learned that was an option. I didn't know what it did. Jim, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you can. No, wow. Oh, that's gonna be funny to talk about later, folks. Thanks for watching 4th and 4 for another week. We'll be back next week, same time, same place on Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter on our Unhinged Radio platforms. Be sure to follow our social account, which is at 4th and 4. Also, be able to follow along with all of our other content creators here. Myself, you just find me Gridiron Gallery at Grid Gallery Pod. And then, Hector's at Instagram FC. You got DJ and Kelsey. Look up for social platforms for High Low Sports Podcast. And Jim is, the J-Dash Show. So check it all out. Guys, thanks for another great week. I love talking and doing this show with you. It's a blast. So, appreciate it, and thank you for those for tuning in. Really good response this week. Plenty of comments. A lot more eyeballs than we've had. Show's going up and up. We're gonna keep making it better for you each week. Until next time, folks. See you later.